My favorite questions are those at the edge of science, inspired by science fiction, daydreams, an awareness of a hypocrisy, or connections between seemingly random situations. Could the microorganisms in my gut communicate with my subconscious? Could we gene edit and bioevolve our species to survive any apocalypse? What would a future historian from 2117 think about us today? My heart sings when dreaming inspires science fiction, which inspires research, development, and technologies, and eventually the emergence of new science fact. Certainty and ignorance seem like opposing sides of a spectrum, but they actually meet in a circle. On the end of certainty on any topic lies a host of information to which we remain ignorant, the unknown unknowns. Once we peek in and challenge our fundamentals, it kickstarts a never-ending, spiraling pattern of new ideas that grow exponentially, just like fractals. Fractal nature exists in lightning bolts, seashells, snowflakes, even galaxies. Knowledge, too, is fractal. Just like the universe, our collective understandings about its contents are also expanding exponentially, what I like to call the fractal evolution of intelligence. Thomas Kuhn developed the idea that we work within a scientific paradigm, a set of methods, ideas, and facts that we take as a given. When evidence piles up that does not fit within our story, we dismiss it as incorrect, crazy, spiritual, or historically as heresy. It is only once an alternative is proposed that we are able to bounce into a new paradigm. For example, Darwin's proposal of evolution was able to absorb evidence that was being dismissed, such as fossils, dinosaur bones, and the general unlikelihood of a 6,000-year-old Earth. We are living in such a paradigm shift, what I imagine a future historian would call the information revolution, with our exponential stream of scientific breakthroughs, technologies, and mind-blowing new evidence. Neuroscience is figuring out that we may have no free will. We're learning that some trees communicate through a fungus that functions akin to a neural network. We have artificial limbs we're controlled through our brains. We're growing organs in the lab on the cusp of artificial intelligence. Consider what we knew 100 years ago from now, and what we will know 100 years from now, which is only a tiny moment on the geological timescale. It makes me wonder about how many other civilizations may have bursted into comparable 100-year blasts. My science fiction visions of 2117 may spiral into utopic dreams, but grounded reality is limited by our adjacent possible, the set of knowledges, perceptions, and technologies available to us. We could theorize what life looked like at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, but it was only once we developed autonomous submarines and underwater cameras that we were able to gather evidence and see these magical creatures. Our adjacent possible is now as wide as a star-filled prairie sky. We have more information in our pockets than Einstein had access to in his entire lifetime. We can go online and learn nearly 50% of any skill from world-class thinkers at the touch of a button online for free. Regular people like me can passively learn about the cosmos from watching a handful of documentaries on a Saturday afternoon. With today's adjacent possible, imagine the sounds that Mozart could create with a contemporary computer. Imagine what Salvador Dali could produce with today's digital programs. Imagine what would come out of a collaboration between Nikola Tesla and Elon Musk. And this is what we are seeing today, with our superhuman geniuses, DIY makers, communication systems, artists, virtual reality, and off-the-chart remixes. Certain questions spark the fractal process. For example, take the placebo effect, once considered the bane of medical science research and development, a problem to beat. What if we flip it? What can we learn about healing that utilizes our minds, our psychology, our energy, our breath, our stress hormones? We have more connections between the neural pathways in our little wee brains than there are stars in the known universe. We are uncovering how the billions of microscopic creatures who live in and on our bodies are integrated with our health, our emotions, our thoughts, our very existence. The foods we eat, at least certain foods, are not just passive carriers of calories and vitamins, but it derived from entangled webs of cells and microbiomes of their own, which get integrated into ours, which is a form of reincarnation. With our expanding knowledge and our emerging technologies, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could find evidence for other dimensions of existence, for intelligent communication between animals, for consciousness emerging between bacterias, for energetic transference. However, the outcome of this information revolution is polarized. On the one hand, we see ideological echo chambers emerging full of absurd ideas. False ideas circulate virally around the internet, spinning with false reinforcement. Some of these ideas become ingrained into academia, politics, religion. Even some of our leaders, ideally leading experts, ideally our checks and balances to guard against false notions, reject any criticisms of their paradigm. In the interim, we are seeing some proper growing pains. Ideologies are like blinders that limit the way we see the world. For example, it was once thought that people could not run faster than the 4-minute mile. Once we broke the seal, the record was broken continuously. So every once in a while, I like to give my brain a little truthiness shake and then laugh at my mistakes. On the other hand, certain obscure ideas turn into game changers. Someone with a grandiose idea can pose any question to the internet. Could fecal transplants resolve autoimmune disorders? Could we structure a massive breeding program to restore bees to their ideal population? Could we develop a bacteria that could safely clean up biowaste? We can go online, mobilize a team of experts from around the world. A tech genius to develop a program, a tool, a robot, a biotechnician, a theoretical analyst, add quantum computer-aided information to the mix, and we can crowdsource the funding. We can mobilize a team of people, and crowdfunding becomes a new form of democracy. At a time when we are losing a whole host of jobs to mechanization, this is also an excellent turn in our shifting economy, where we can develop small networks of resource exchanges, as well as epic collective projects. Maybe some affordable desalination plants, maybe internet-based voting systems, maybe an ethical way to have finger monkeys as pets. Collectively, we have the brains, skills, tools, time, and abundant resources. So with this incredible opportunity comes responsibility. Knowledge is power, and we have reached a crux in our evolution of intelligence. We have enough military power to destroy this planet several times over. And we have social systems that give way too much power to very few people. Chances are very high that no matter what you believe, your grandchildren will think you are archaic. And this will most certainly not be our last paradigm shift. Collectively, we have what it takes for this turn to be exquisite. With this mounting knowledge, it's no longer hard to figure out how to be a good person, how to have integrity, how to treat our community with kindness. We are better off knowing the truth, even if it is inconvenient, and we can find social responses that involve kindness, respect, and care. Social movements need more science, and science needs to be open to questions on the edge of ideology. I love David Eagleman's notion of the possibillion, where any question can be asked, and any answer requires evidence-based, replicated results to the best of our scientific ability, with the recognition that our science and technology is at this stage far from perfect. We are, by definition, the epitome of evolution, and that our lives are the consequence of 3.8 billions of years of our ancestors birthing our ancestors, who eventually, through luck and evolutionary fitness, birthed your great-grandmother, and eventually you emerged. A woman who is pregnant holds in her baby the egg that could become her granddaughter. There are atoms in your body that were once inside a dinosaur, and the molecules of water in your body have been recycled for millions of years and will be recycled for another few million. A future historian, 10,000 years from now, will think of us the way we think of Neanderthals, as a beautiful ancient species of human, possibly defined by our geological sediment layer of plastic. So what is at the edge of science? It's imagination. So this talk goes out to all my fellow dreamers. In this exquisite moment in our fractal evolution of intelligence, dream hard. Humble up, humble down, learn to laugh hard at your mistakes, and ask questions at the edge of science. Or at very least, enjoy the ride. Thank you.